Hi, I'm Amy Parrish, and I'm here to introduce you to Janine Firpo, the author of Activate Your Money, Invest to Grow Your Wealth, and Build a Better World. But before we talk about the book, my dear friend Janine Firpo is going to talk to me a little bit about herself and her journey into finance.
Hi, Amy. It's good to see you. It's
Good to
really
see you.
fun to be starting these fireside chats. I even decided to sit by the fire to make it feel more like that. And I welcome everybody who's watching these. Thank you so much for being here. My journey has been a long and sort of circuitous one. I started out my career in high tech and then moved into international development. In 1995 and really spent a lot of my career working to help solve poverty by applying technology to issues that I saw in developing countries around the world. Because of the work that I did, I really began to understand the importance of money and on people's lives and how much it can change them. And I also started to realize that my own money was invested in things that were not in alignment with the things that I was doing in my work and in the rest of my life. And I decided that I really wanted to pull my money more into alignment. And I've been on that journey for about 10 years.
Hence the term values aligned investing. Explain that a little more.
So there are a number of terms out there to describe ways that we can invest in more socially responsible ways. You may have heard of impact investing or sustainable investing or environmental investing. Many people talk about these in many different ways, and the emphasis tends to be on the outcome of the investment. And I think that's very important. But I think that when we look at people and we think about how we invest, it's a very personal choice. So my values may or may not be exactly the same as yours, Amy. And I've realized that what's really important is that we align our money with our values and we invest in the things that we care about. And my book is really directed toward women for a lot of reasons that we can discuss. But what I've come to realize is that as women, there are a lot of values that we hold similarly. We care a lot about our families, we care about our communities. We want to uplift and support other women. We want to leave a planet for our children and our grandchildren that's actually sustainable and livable and will enable them to have really wonderful, fulfilling lives.
Are we leaving men out?
Absolutely not. I think and would welcome men to read my book, just like women do. However, if you look at the history of finance and you look at women's involvement in it, we've been left out to a large degree. There are very few investment funds, for example, that are managed by women. Over 80% of all financial advisors are men. And when women think about our money, we tend to be very fearful of it. In fact, only 9% of us think that we are better investors than men. In addition, when we're talked to about our money, we're told to save. And we've learned that lesson really, really well. In fact, we save 70 cents on the dollar in cash. We're afraid of investing. So I have written this book targeting women because we have not been part of the conversation in the past. The pronouns in the book are feminine, the stories are about women, and it speaks more to women's hearts.
That's awesome. The opening chapter is about your financial power. What's the first step? Tell me a little more about that.
Well, there's a lot of ways to get involved in investing this way. One of the very easiest steps is to just think about your savings and checking account. Where are you banking today? And if you're banking at a major bank or you're banking at any bank that you don't understand how your money is being used, you may not even think of yourself as an investor with your savings and checking account. But the truth is, you are. Someone is using that money to do something with, and it's nice to know what they're using it for. So if you don't know, you might want to question that a little bit. And there are actually a range of different kinds of institutions that you can invest in that support your community, that support underserved populations, that help women entrepreneurs get access to capital. And the book gives you very complete information about how to find those different resources and how to actually go through the steps of moving your money from your current bank to a new bank. So that's a very easy first step that anyone could do regardless of how much money they have.
This sounds amazing. And I hate to even say this, but sometimes people think that investing in things that you're passionate about might mean that it's a financial sacrifice, not a financial return. Can you speak to that a little bit?
So that's a really, really popular misconception. It's been around for a long time. And fortunately, we have a lot of data to show that it absolutely is not the case. In fact, there are studies that have looked at as many as 10,000 different investments and determined that if you look at sustainable investing, those types of investments often do as well, if not better, than non-sustainable types of investing. And I can tell you through my own investing, because a lot of what I talk about in the book, I've done with my own money. And part of what I do is I experiment. So I own traditional, very well-known investment funds in the stock market, and I own values aligned funds. And my values aligned funds are kicking it. Some of them are outperforming the non-values aligned funds by as much as 4 to 5 times.
Investing in alignment with your values sounds really hard. Um, and it takes a lot of time. I mean, isn't that a lot of work? I don't know if I could do that.
Well, I think that investing takes time. If you want to be a good and smart investor, I think there are a lot of people out there, and a lot of women in particular, who would love a very quick fix, who want the 1 or 2 steps to investing that will get them to the end result they want. And there's advice that suggests that all you have to do is buy a single index fund, and that's all you have to do, and you just hold that for 20 to 30 years. Personally, I don't think that's good advice, because when we don't pay attention to our money, we get outcomes that are not necessarily advantageous. In addition to that, the advice we should get and the kinds of things we should do with our money really changes depending on how much our net wealth is. Somebody who has $10,000 to invest is going to do things very differently than someone who has $500,000 or $1 million or more, right? And so paying attention to our money and being smart investors, in my opinion, is the first step. And that takes work. It's not a sprint, it's a marathon, but it can be really fun. In terms of the values alignment piece of it, it's just one additional piece of research that you do. And it doesn't really have to add a lot more work. It just is that you're looking in different places for your answers than you would be otherwise. So I don't see it as a lot more work. What I've actually found is that by investing this way, women get more engaged because they begin to realize that what their money is doing. And some of the investments that I have, I actually get reports from my bank. I get reports from different funds that I own that are telling me this is what your money is doing. And it makes me feel great. I love to hear those stories. And I know that other women do too.
Well, that's pretty exciting. So it sounds like the first step is that we need to buy your book.
Absolutely.
So where do we need to get it? Where can we buy your book?
Well, you will soon be able to buy it virtually anywhere. It's already available on Amazon for pre-order. The book will actually be published in May, but you can pre-order it even today. So all you have to do is go to Amazon, look for Activate Your Money, put in my name, Janine Firpo, JANINE FIRPO, and you will find it.
But you're not sitting on your laurels. I understand, in addition to writing the book, you founded a company called SEMBA. What is SEMBA?
Well, the book for me is just the foundation. It's the starting point. What I'm really interested in is helping women across this country be smarter about their money and to begin to put their money into things that can change the world. I mean, right now, women control, if we wanted to, could control about 50% of the wealth in this country. And that is estimated to go up to 65% in about 10 years. What that means is the fact that we have chosen not to take control of our own money, that we allow other people in our lives to make our financial and investment decisions for us in many cases, means we are giving away some really important power. And so I want women to begin to understand that and to take ownership of their money. So SEMBA is there to support women as they go on this journey. as I said earlier, this investing is a bit of work, and I don't think that it's necessary for many of us, something that we want to do alone. So I've personally been in 3 finance and investment clubs during my life, all of which have been great experiences. Often I have done them with other women, and we have learned how to invest together. We get together, we have dinner, we enjoy each other socially, and then we start talking about our investments. So SEMBA is intended to provide all the support infrastructure for women who want to invest this way. When the book launches, it will come with a website that you can download tools, worksheets, spreadsheets, all the things you need to actually take action on the things you read about in the book. And it will also come with a complete curriculum of 15 modules that women can use in whatever way they want to start their own investment clubs. And we'll have a structure to help them be successful doing that. There are incredible women out there who are serving as financial advisors for other women, who are leading the charge in values-aligned investing. So part of what we want to do through SEMBA is also shine a light on them and help to create a network of both women who are the providers of resources and services, as well as a network for women who are seeking to become stronger, more values-aligned investors. So that's part of our goal with SEMBA as well.
And my understanding of this Facebook Live series is a precursor to the book coming out. Is it with those same women?
Some of the women who were involved in the book will in fact be in these Facebook Live chats. So there were actually 150 women and some men who helped me create this book. And the reason I did that was because I am not a certified financial advisor. I'm not a certified financial professional of any sort. I am someone who has done this with their own money. And I know something about these kinds of issues, but a lot of the women I know are far smarter than me, and they know a lot more depth. And so they helped me write these chapters and make sure that we got the information right. There was also a tremendous number of women who came in to read the chapters in early drafts. So we usually had about 25 women read each draft. And then based on their feedback, we would rewrite the content. So it's been a 2.5-year process to actually produce this book.
It is a great honor to talk to you about this today. Is there anything else you want to share with the viewers before we launch into the weekly series where you're leading the questions and you're hosting your guests?
Right. Well, I'll just say that really this is a pleasure. And the way that we are going to be going through this series is we're going to be walking you through the book chapter by chapter. And in each conversation, we will introduce you to concepts and ideas and provide tips related to that particular chapter. And we'll also be in conversation with some of the women who helped create that particular chapter. And just so that you have a sense of, well, what's in this book, it's really split into 3 parts that I'll go through very quickly. The first part really helps you set your foundation, and it helps you ask key questions like, how do I feel about my money, and what are my preconceived biases, and what do I value? If I'm going to invest my money in alignment with my values, what do I value? We're going to help you understand some foundational elements that you need to know as an investor. When are you ready to invest? And what are some of the most important things you do before you ever even make an investment? And then we're going to go through asset class by asset class. And for those of you who don't know what that means, an asset class is simply a category of investment. So cash is an asset class. The stock market, buying stocks, that's an asset class. Bonds are in fixed income, that's an asset class. We're going to go through a variety of those. We're going to talk about angel investing, which is how women are investing in other women in private companies. And then we're going to end with the third part of the book, which really focuses on how you can find a financial advisor that offers this kind of investing advice, how you can bring your 401ks and your IRAs and your other retirement funds into alignment with your values. And finally, how you can start a circle of your own and begin to work with other women and to learn with other women.
Thank you for coming today. And I'm excited to participate in the rest of the series.
Thank you so much, Amy. It's been a pleasure, and I look forward to our ongoing conversations. I'm excited about them.